Hi and welcome to this week's Alakazam Video Blog. David.
How's it going?
All very good.
Good to have you back.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Oh, good.
Last week we had a very special vlog, which was a teaching vlog.
Yeah. If you haven't seen last week's vlog, watch it now, because I think you've got one day left on the offer that we were doing. But it was very well received, and everyone got to learn 3 tricks. So it was a good vlog.
And we got a lot of good responses from that, a lot of emails coming in and stuff like that, so it was really great. And we'll most probably do another one in the future where we'll teach people a few bits.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems like we wanted to use that one as a tester to make sure people knew what they were doing with the streamings and everything else, and they did, which was great. And this week's vlog is another slightly different vlog.
It is.
Because there are times of the year at Alakazam that I get really excited, and that is when we've got a new release coming up.
Yeah, and on the vlog we do try to review new products when they're in, but it is the Alakazam Video Blog, so I think every time we have a new product it's worth really going into a bit of detail about it. And we've got an awesome interview for this product, and they're going to see the trailer. Yeah,
well, this is an effect by a guy called Steve Dimmer, very talented magician. Steve contacted us a few months ago with this idea. I fell in love with the idea the moment I saw it. You were on holiday at the time.
I was, yeah.
I go into all this detail in the interview anyway, so I'm not going to sort of go over everything now. But I will say that anyone that actually saw me do the lecture I recently, the little lecture tour I done with Leo, would have seen me performing this effect. Now, since then, I've added a killer second phase to it. It's a really nice, in my opinion, it's a really strong second phase, which you're going to see. So anyone that has already seen this or even purchased it, because we had a few copies on my lectures, so a few people have already got these, but not many. But for those people, this is going to be a brand new second phase, which I didn't share with anyone until now.
What's it called, Pete?
The effect is called Screen Test.
Screen Test.
So let's go to an interview with Steve Dimmer about the fantastic effect, Screen Test. Right, so I'm out and about. We're here with my good friend Steve Dimmer to tell you about a brand new product. This is Screen Test. So, Steve, tell us a bit about Screen Test. Why did you come up with it? How did you come up with it? And anything else you want to tell me?
Okay, well, I wanted something that was really quick, could be reset easily, was something that was quick to learn rather than a quick effect to me. And also something that was quite deceptive. I wanted something that was quite strong within the magical effects that I do. I played about with a few ideas, and then I came up with the fact of everybody knows about films, and if you look out there's quite a few tricks about films. Director's Cut is a brilliant example. So I thought, well, I'll sort of mess about with that, and I'd brought a lot of postcards, not because I collect postcards, but because I thought there must be something magical one can do with them. And this was about 3 years ago, and they just went into the bottom drawer like most of the things. And then I suddenly thought, no, maybe we can do something with that. So I pulled out about the 3 sets and selected off some of the classic films, if you like. They're not modern ones, they're ones that sort of have a pedigree from a way back. And then thought about what one could do as regards reading somebody's mind after they selected one of these things. And I didn't want to do a force, I didn't want to do any sort of manipulation. I wanted it to be as hands-off as possible. And with Screen Test, you can literally take it out of your pocket, and if you want to, you don't touch it again. The spectator takes it, and it's there with them until the end of the effect.
Well, that's the beautiful thing with Screen Test. Now, you sent me a sample. Well, basically, we'll explain how this all happens. If you've got an idea for a trick, you usually send it into Alakazam, which you did. You sent me a little video. The moment I saw that video, I fell in love with the effect. I rung you within 10 or 15 minutes of you sending me that video, or especially of me seeing it. And we had finalised everything within about an hour of talking.
Yeah, I think
you told me
right,
what the method was. I loved the method as much as I loved the trick, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. And Dave Loosely was on holiday at the time, and when Dave came back, we were filming the Paul Gordon lecture, or his DVD set, shall I say, and during a cut-in filming, I performed it on David 4 times. And, you know, he was none the wiser. Later on that evening, I'd done it to Paul Gordon about 4 or 5 times. Once again, you know, fooled them every single time. And Russ kept watching it and watching it. Russ Stevens, who does our filming. And Russ was just saying, yeah, I've got no idea what's going on. And it's such a deceptive, clever, cheeky, simple, but very deceptive method, you know, which... You know, all kudos to you. It's so smart.
I think the key there for people performing it is that it's simple. It's very, very easy to be. You know, there's hardly any memory work at all. I'd say there's no memory work actually.
Well, if we provide, you know, to be fair, there isn't really any memory work. As long as you know what films are in the pack, you can do the effect. But we do supply a sort of special card crib sheet. That means you can perform it out of the box without even looking through the movies if you wanted to, which we don't suggest, but you could. But it's such a great idea. The other nice thing about it is the size of the postcards. Because of the size, they'll work great on stage, close up, walk around, almost any situation.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, Parlour Magic is an up and coming thing now, and it works wonderful within that setting as well. I mean, it's not too good for kids, but you know, but if they're 10 plus, you could do it with them, and that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a huge amount of mind reading that's good for kids anyway. I don't think they sort of understand the process. Magic they can see, and it's, you know, whereas mind reading. But this thing just works. It's in my case all the time. That's what I can say. If I'm going out somewhere, along with my bit book, is one of these now. It's really, really cool. And the thing is, with Alakazam products, we get sent in maybe 20 submissions a week. And some of them are great tricks, but for me, they just don't fit into that Alakazam category. And that is, you know, hard hitting, easy to do, and above all, something you can go out there and work. That's it.
And I think there's another element to it as well, which is entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big plus with this, is that it does actually have a great entertainment factor.
Yeah, everyone loves movies.
Absolutely, yeah. So you're tapping into something that is within everybody's sort of realm of reference, if you like.
Yeah. And I've recently come back from the Mind Summit in Cologne in Germany, which is a meeting of, you know, some of the best mind readers in the world. And, you know, I was performing it there, and, you know, it fooled all of them. And straight away I showed it to Danny Archer, and he fell in love with it straight away, because movies, so many people are into movies. You know, everyone knows what a movie is, and the movies you have selected, it's a great collection as well, because they're all iconic movies. There's not one in there that I suppose people wouldn't have heard of in one way or another.
Sure.
But yeah, it's really good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give you the premiere of the screen test trailer. Your spectator selects a movie from a bunch of 17 mini movie posters. While your head is turned, they read out a list of every single movie contained within this pack. Now, with no peeks and no memory work, you can instantly tell them what movie they're thinking of. Tell me nothing, but just think it, okay? Just think it. This is a Saturday afternoon. This is a bit of a sort of adventure-y type movie. This is something to do with aliens, isn't it? Have you seen this movie?
I've seen this movie.
Yeah? Are you thinking of E.T.? Are you?
Yeah.
Now your pulse is already starting to race. So this is a thriller? Yeah?
Yeah.
So I want you to try and think about what the movie is about in your mind. Just make it up as you go along. But it's... Okay, this is a thriller. Can you just visualise the poster that you just looked at? Just visualise it in your mind. This is a lineup, isn't it?
Yes.
Are you thinking of The Usual Suspect?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, if that wasn't strong enough, with my bonus handling, you can actually predict a second spectator's movie on your ringtone. In fact, let's try something else as well, because remember I popped a card down here.
Yeah.
We'll try something else. This time I'm not going to ask you to remove a card, but I want you to see that the cards are all different, okay? We're going to give them another mix up, so I don't know the order and you don't know the order, more importantly, okay? Just touch the back of any one. Just touch the back of one. This one here? Yeah, that's all right. Because you're not going to take it out, you're just going to remember it.
Yeah.
Do you know what that movie is? You've seen it before?
I have seen, yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to turn my head, but I'm going to show the camera. Okay. Now, I couldn't have known what movie you were going to choose there, but remember I said I made a prediction.
Yeah.
This is something that I believed was going to happen.
Okay.
You're thinking of one movie. On the card is a number. Does that make any sense to you at all? Apart from being a mobile phone number? No? Okay, pick up your phone and do me a favour, just dial this number for me. And when you've dialed it, just press call. Perfect. Do you know the theme tune to this movie you're thinking of?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Is that it? Were you thinking of Jaws?
Yeah.
Right, so that was the premiere of the Screen Test trailer. And before we say goodbye to my very good friend Steve Dimmer, anything else you want to add about the effects?
Well, yeah, what I'd like to say, I suppose, is that there's a good distance you can get between yourself and the trick. So in other words, if you've got a radio spot and you're with a presenter, you could do this over the radio. Very few tricks that work good on radio, but this one I think does. And also, if you want to do it a little bit lighter, you can do it on stage. Put a bucket on your head because there's no peaks, there's no stack.
Yeah. There's, you know, they can read the back out in any order they want. It is just such a clever routine. You are absolutely going to love it. You're going to love the method as much as you love the trick, I guarantee it. But it's one of those tricks, like you said, the distance thing is great because you aren't peaking anything. You know, you can literally, during one of my lectures, I sort of blindfolded myself with a sleep mask because magicians, all right, lay people don't expect you'll be peaking, but magicians do. So I really made it clear that I wasn't, and it's still so unbelievable. Even from a magician's mind, when you watch it, you still think he must be peaking or he must be doing this. No matter how much you put, I can go and stand in another room. You know, we could still do it. That's the thing, you know. If they had the cards and a walkie-talkie, we could still do it. It's such a great idea, and you are absolutely going to love it. You really are. So that's it for Screen Test. I want to thank my good friend Steve Dimmer. Thank you so much for bringing it to Alakazam. And now back to my twin brother and Dave Loosely in the Alakazam studio. Right, so that was the interview. That was the trailer. This is Screen Test. It's going to be available in about 3 weeks' time, but it's on our site for pre-order. I've also got a bonus routine that will be featured in the streaming videos. It will go into your account as and when this gets released, which incorporates the bit book, which is another one of my firm favourites. Now, if you already own the bit book, great, you'll be able to perform this effect as soon as you get this. If you don't own the bit book, on our site we've got a price for just Screen Test, but there's a drop down menu where you can get the combo of Screen Test and bit book and save yourself a £5.
Which opens it up to a lot of nice reveals, really.
And presentations. It's
We'll go on to bit book in just a moment. I just want to say, from my opinion, and a few bits about the Screen Test. Firstly, as you mentioned in the interview, it completely got me like 3 or 4 times in a row. I mean, I don't do mentalism. I do the odd trick. But I'm quite savvy when it comes to techniques that are used, and it just got me. This is hands off.
Yeah.
You know, it's different to just to pick a card trick.
Yeah.
It's a perfect size to play in close up because it will go in your inside pocket.
Yeah.
And cabaret. So
Yeah.
it kind of ticks the boxes. I know it's a cliche, it ticks all the boxes, but it does. And then mixing it with BitBook, if you want to explain a little bit about this.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was a routine that we used to perform with Director's Cut, which was, because it's about movies, and because the BitBook allows you to have things like, you know, a country chosen, a number, and a time, you could say you're going to take a trip to a cinema, but it's not going to be your local cinema. You're going to choose a country to go to. So now they're thinking of a country they're going to watch the movie.
Yeah.
They're then going to be thinking of a time they're going to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be thinking of even the seat number they're going to be sitting in.
Yeah.
And
which is a lot of information.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're going to pick a movie.
Yeah.
And you're going to give them all this information.
And
back.
Again, you can play this one-on-one, or I know I've seen you do BitBook on 5 people.
Yeah.
You can play this to a number of people and really packs very, very small in just these 2 items and plays huge.
Yeah, it's, you know, screen test for me, anyone that knows me, knows the material I like, will not be surprised when I say that, you know, this excited me the moment I saw it. It's got everything I like in effect. It really, really has. And as I've said during the interview, I went to Mind Summit in Cologne, and that was with the prototype set, the set that Steve made. And the reactions were fantastic. We got some lovely quotes from some guys out there, and you know, the reactions was good. No one spotted the method, and I was doing the effect time and time again. You know, it's just great. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. And you know, for me, it ticks the boxes. I.e., it's magic that you can actually go out and do. It's magic that's very, very easy to learn. There's no difficulty in performing the effect, so you can concentrate on your performance rather than methods and calculations and you know, weird memory work. Do you know what I mean?
And if you perform this performance, you've got, I mean, the spectators have got no way to backtrack anything, which is, as a magician, is perfect. The method of this is superb. It's brilliant. It totally got me. And the second I come back from my holiday, I've got to show you this. I've got to show you this. I knew you were excited about it.
And it is, I mean, people, I do say it with certain effects, this is something I carry about. And the fact is, you know, I've always carried this in my bag. I've always got one of these when I've got my bag with me. And now I've always got one of these because it is just great. And I love movies anyway, and you know, a lot of people, because we've mentioned it before, know that. So this fits in with me perfectly. You know?
I'm not sure if you mentioned it, you probably have earlier, but I mean, you can get these movie cards from collectors shops. You know, they're not an unusual object, and people can relate to the films. So it's a perfect situational piece. Yeah,
it's a great trick. And the other thing is, once again, and I know we keep saying it, it's going to come with a streaming video. So the moment this is released, if you purchase this from Alakazam, if you pre-order it, the day of release, the instructions will automatically go into your account. Otherwise, you will receive a activation code in here. All you need to do is go to your Alakazam account, pop your activation code in, and the videos will pop up for you. Now, I'm also working on, that's the beauty of streaming videos, like I've said before, is the fact that if we come up with new ideas, and today we were talking, I've now come up with an idea that the base idea came from Steve, where he said to me, did you realise this? Now suddenly that's made me think, well, that 2-phase routine I'm doing can now be a really nice 3-phase routine. So I'm working on that at the moment, so hopefully that will be ready by the time this comes out, so you're going to have a nice 3-phase routine with 3 different people.
And I'm also going to film the version of what I was cutting
Yes.
So that's going to be on the streaming video as well.
So there's little bonus routines in there as well. But that's really it for this week's vlog. Oh, one thing I will say, because it wasn't very clear in the trailer, and Steve Dimmer did mention it to me,
right.
Which is, on the trailer, I say they pick any one, which they do, and I say they read out all the movies on the back, which they do. But I didn't stress they can read them out in any order they like.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I don't say that on the trailer.
Right.
But for those of you that think they're in a certain order, no, they're not. They can read them out in any order they like.
Yeah.
It's, it's such a great effect. Trust me, you're going to love it. You really, really are. And those of you that have already got it, you know how good it is. And if you have already got it, because this is up for pre-order, you can pop your reviews on the product already. You don't have to wait for it to come out. So please let other people know what you think of it, because it really, really is great. So that's it really. And when it is released, I will do a live performance with you. So that's it, I think, for this week.
Yeah, fantastic.
Next week we're sort of back to normal with 3 or 4 products.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do next week, and you're going to love it.
Brilliant.
It's very practical, looks great. So yeah, it's exciting to be back next week and actually performing some tricks. But watch the trailer for this. You're going to want it, honestly. But yeah, subscribe, guys, in the usual place. Thank you so much again, and we will see you next week on the Alakazam Video Blog.
See you then.